Hi, welcome to Audiobook Academy. This is a self-paced audiobook. There's no need to keep an eye on things. Just pay attention. Thank you for taking the time to listen. Book summary of Essential Zen Habits by Babauta. The reason we have difficulty changing habits is that we have unrealistic expectations of how things will turn out, how others should behave, and how we should behave ourselves. Disappointed, frustrated, and sad are all emotions we experience when our expectations aren't met. When we turn away from our mind movie and face reality, we are able to overcome our internal resistance to habit change. A projector is installed in our heads, and it is constantly playing a movie about how we'd like things to be, our ideals for the world, our expectations for how things will turn out, how others should behave, and how we should behave ourselves. The mind movie is what gets in the way of our efforts to change our habits. Change is supposed to be simple and enjoyable, but the reality is that we must step out of our comfort zone to achieve this. Essentially, the childish mind is the part of our mind that complains about how things are and fears discomfort. It is the part of our mind which only wants pleasure and comfort and does not want things to be difficult. Gratitude is a wonderful antidote to resistance that we can practice on a daily basis, even when our childish mind eventually starts to rebel against the habit. Breathe in and out of mistakes, and remember that what really matters isn't whether you mess up for a day or two, but what you do over the course of weeks, months, and years. A projector is installed in our heads, and it is constantly playing a movie about how we'd like things to be, our ideals for the world, our expectations for how things will turn out, how others should behave, and how we should behave ourselves. The mind movie is what gets in the way of our efforts to change our habits. Change is supposed to be simple and enjoyable, but the reality is that we must step out of our comfort zone to achieve this. Essentially, the childish mind is the part of our mind that complains about how things are and fears discomfort. It is the part of our mind which only wants pleasure and comfort and does not want things to be difficult. Gratitude is a wonderful antidote to resistance that we can practice on a daily basis, even when our childish mind eventually starts to rebel against the habit. Consider writing a brief journal entry about your reflections to help you remember what you've learned. The following advice: treat habit formation as a learning process, use it to learn about yourself and your mind, mindfulness, resistance, and other things. After a while, a habit becomes your new normal, and you are able to stretch a little further, pushing your comfort zone a little further each time. Can you describe what it feels like to be up against resistance? There has to be a way to accept the thing that you're resisting and to accept the discomfort that comes with it, while also finding gratitude for it. What is it about the discomfort that is beneficial? When you miss a day or two, you have two options: either feel bad about it and risk getting completely derailed, or flow around it and not make a big deal of it. One of the most important habit skills is learning to flow around the interruptions and simply continue. Take note of any feelings of discomfort or uncertainty you are experiencing and stay with them. Learn more about them. Spend time getting close to your emotions. When we feel a sense of groundlessness, a sense of not being anchored, of not being certain, of things not going our way, a sense of loss, our minds don't usually react positively to it. We can give our childish mind one of the most difficult tasks we can give it: letting go of what it really wants and accepting life as it is, realizing that it is already enough. Changing a habit that you had such high expectations for and had worked so hard to achieve can be discouraging, but we must remember that we are changing our habits in order to learn more about ourselves. Making a commitment to oneself may not be enough to motivate one to change, but telling others about one's intentions can help one become even more motivated to change. If you miss a day, do everything you can to figure out why you missed it and to resolve the problem so that you don't miss any more days. When you make a change, others in your life may unconsciously perceive this change as a threat to their well-being. I've discovered that being a good role model for change is the most effective method of persuasion. In the event that others are unwilling to support your changes, simply request that they allow you the space to implement them on your own, without their assistance. A good practice is to avoid becoming emotionally attached to the outcome. Have a positive attitude toward the habit, but don't get too caught up in how it will turn out because you have no control over it. When you slip and fall, tell yourself that it's just another lesson that will help you become a better adapter in the future. Mistakes indicate that you are breaking new ground and exploring something new. If you weren't doing so, you wouldn't make mistakes. Look at every mistake as an opportunity to learn, as something you can improve upon, as the feedback that is so important for improvement. Most people make the mistake of attempting to quit too soon, when they haven't mastered the art of developing good habits. I recommend that you try to form new, positive habits at least 3 times before attempting to quit smoking. The first thing you should do before attempting to quit a habit is track it for 3 days and try to write down every trigger that causes the habit, says the author. If you weren't doing the habit, you wouldn't be doing it. Each bad habit fulfills a need, or you wouldn't be doing it. In the space provided, write down a positive replacement habit that will meet the same need for each trigger and need. Whenever you're experiencing stress, anxiety, boredom, loneliness, or any other negative emotion, take a moment to pause and pay attention to it. Try to be curious about how it feels, where it is in your body, and what quality it has by observing it in its entirety. Develop a personal relationship with it rather than trying to avoid it. Sit back and observe, and urge, gently, without passing judgment or wishing the feeling didn't exist. Treat it with respect, as if it were a friend. And realize that this emotion is transient, that it only appears for a brief moment before passing away, like a cloud. This is the entire meditation. Simply observe with curiosity and kindness, without becoming attached to the feeling or feeling the need to act on it. When trying to break a bad habit, eliminate one trigger at a time. Convince yourself that you are capable, that you are strong, that you are in control. Also, be realistic in the fact that things will not always go as planned, but that these will serve as learning opportunities. Ultimately, you'll succeed because you're deserving of the opportunity. The real question isn't whether or not you'll make a mistake, but what you'll do when you do make a mistake. Breathe in and out of mistakes, and remember that what really matters isn't whether you mess up for a day or two, but what you do over the course of weeks, months, and years. Create a new habit, what you need to know. Choose one new, simple habit that you can practice once a day. Take your time and don't start right away. Make a promise to yourself. Make a place for yourself. Create a trigger and a reminder for yourself. Begin with the bare minimum of a habit that is sustainable. Concentrate on how much you are enjoying the habit. Make use of mindfulness techniques. Take a look at your mind movie. Think about it and keep a journal. This is something I do every day. Gradually increase the amount of time you spend on it. How to get rid of a bad habit. It is not advisable to attempt to quit until you have made several successful new habit changes. Keep track of your habits. Make a list of your triggers. Make a list of your requirements. Make a list of habits to replace your current ones. Make use of the skills you've gained. Gradual change is preferable to going cold turkey. Learn to recognize and control your urges when they arise. Create a positive frame of mind. If you make a mistake, get back on track and don't let it derail your plans. Thank you for listening in Audiobook Academy. Please don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. See you in next audiobook.